Thank you for that warm welcome. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Chicago on behalf of its 500,000 union members here in Chicago and throughout Cook County. I'd like to thank you again, President Nigro and General Secretary Joseph Sellers and members of the General Executive Council. It is my honor to be here this morning with you. The sheet metal workers have long been an integral member of the Chicago labor movement that is rich in history and in significance. Chicago is home of the Haymarket tragedy, which spurred from the fight for the 8-hour day over 125 years ago. We're home to Pullman, the site of the historic strike against George Pullman's rail cars, a courageous stance against corporate greed that is percolating once again here in America. Chicago is home to more local ones than any other city in the nation, and it's home to some great local leaders. Rocco Terranova, President and Business Manager of Local 73, is one such leader. I want to take this opportunity to thank Rocco for his leadership, his friendship, and his commitment and dedication to working people. A member of the Chicago Federation of Labor's Executive Board, Rocco brings union solidarity and political savvy to the table. Not only does he fight for his members here in Chicago area, but he also has been an active participant in the fight for union rights in Wisconsin earlier this year, even encouraging others in the movement to follow his lead by engaging in the struggle. I also know where Rocco will be this Saturday. He'll be up in Wisconsin to defend the Democrat Senate seats that are at play there. He'll be there with his wife as well, the real boss. So we're facing a defining moment in organized labor's history, as you all know. The battles raging in Wisconsin, Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana either threaten our very existence or will prove to make us stronger than ever. That choice is up to us. The recall elections taking place today in Wisconsin will show us whether we can turn this outrage into action. Illinois is sort of a political sanctuary state. In February, 14 Democratic state senators from Wisconsin fled here to stop anti-worker, right-wing union-busting agenda. That agenda was being pursued by the newly elected governor, Scott Walker. He's a darling, that's right, boo, yeah. He's a darling of the Tea Party and far-right Republicans, backed by the Koch brothers, and made no apologies about using the economic crisis to attack unions instead of being a true leader and using the crisis to bring people together. Here in Illinois, we have a Democratic governor who proudly stands with working people. But his victory last November was a last-minute, come-from-behind victory that defied pundits and strategists alike from across our nation. In the Republican tsunami that swept over our nation, Illinois was the riptide. Governor Quinn's opponent, Bill Brady, would have been like Scott Walker on steroids. His opposition to unions stems not just from his political career, but his other job as an ABC non-union contractor from downstate Illinois. With just a few weeks to go before the election, Governor Quinn was down in the polls and people were giving up on him. Even the Democratic Governors Association threw in the towel and walked away. They essentially walked away from him at the time he needed them most. But organized labor, led by the sheet metal workers and others in the building and construction trades, wouldn't give in and wouldn't give up. Rather than pulling back their chips, they went all in. In the last few weeks of the campaign alone, we made more than 1 million live phone calls to union households, distributed over 127,900 worksite flyers, knocked on thousands of doors, and put thousands of volunteers on the street for Election Day in a get-out-the-vote effort. And the result was a stunning victory that defied the odds. Labor turnout far exceeded the state average in the Democratic performance. According to the exit polling by CNN on the night of the election, union household voters made up 26% of all voters and voted overwhelmingly for Governor Quinn. For those of you who are from out of state, let me put that into some context. There are 102 counties throughout the entire state of Illinois. Governor Quinn won just 3 of them. 2 were virtually tied, and the other is Cook County, which encompasses Chicago and 50 other townships and municipalities. We made it happen where labor had its density, where labor could make a difference. Shortly after the election, we got the reality check when governors and state legislators start pushing back blatant anti-union legislation in what seemed like a coordinated effort. It went for right to work, prevailing wage, collective bargaining, pensions, all under attack. Even with the Democratic governor, Democratic House, a Democratic Senate, we had to fight back legislation to cut pension benefits for public employees because politicians had neglected to make the required contributions to the funds over decades. This tells you that we can never give up, we can never give in, and never take anything that we have for granted. It gets down to doing what's right, what is fair, and what is just for all working people. We in this room are the true defenders of the middle class. And if elected leaders are going to stand in our way and work against us, then we must return the favor. The time is now to build a movement of people who are tired of games, tired of bullshit, if I can say that, President Nigro, and tired of big corporations holding us hostage for tax breaks while working people pay more than their fair share. I wanted to take this opportunity this morning to say hello, to thank you, and to summarize where we are as a movement. These unprecedented attacks have created an unprecedented moment for organized labor. Together, with our allies and partners in the community, we can restore the balance this country needs to survive. We can rebuild the middle class and defend the American dream. I'd like to leave you with a short video we produced for the We Are One rally in Daly Plaza earlier this year, where many of you in this room, not just from Chicago, but surrounding states, participated. It's been a great tool in mobilizing our members into action, and it's clear that there is much work left to be done. Again, thank you, and it's my honor to be here.